All right, good afternoon, people. I'm Dylan Denmark. Make sure we are subscribing to the YouTube channel Denmark and Marsh, as we have got a lot of things to get up to date when it comes to the Florida Gators. But remember, always subscribe to the channel and make sure you always get the notification when we go live for things like this. I was going on a walk about 30 minutes ago and refreshed Twitter, or as the platform now call it, X, and two things came out. One, Aiden Myles is hitting the portal. That's kind of one thing that happened 2 hours ago. That's really been the first big surprise for the Florida Gators. DJ Lagway hit the portal yesterday. And then the big news, Georgia Tech's backup, Aaron Philo, has entered the transfer portal. And it looks like from everything you read, it looks like he will be becoming a Florida Gator in the near future. So we'll see how it goes down the next couple of weeks, but it does seem like he will be a Gator when the transfer portal window opens January 2nd, when they have that 15-day window in January. So yesterday, DJ Lagway is announced that he's hitting the portal. Reports come out. He wanted to stay. He wanted to be there. And the coaching staff was like, yeah, we're going to have our, or basically move into another direction. So when that happened, I kind of expected, okay, if you tie 1 and 1 together, if DJ Lagway is hitting the portal, they probably the coaching staff, Summerall and the offensive coaching staff, have an idea of who that quarterback is going to be in somewhere in the portal, and you kind of had to tie it to Georgia Tech. Your offensive coordinator from Georgia Tech, multiple position coaches were coming from Georgia Tech. Haynes King is leaving; he has no more years of eligibility, and Aaron Philo is a redshirt freshman right now. He's played in 8 games, his first 2 seasons, and he has, if you look back in high school, he threw for almost 14,000 yards in the state of Georgia. He led his high school team to back-to-back state championships. That is the all-time leading passer in the state of Georgia. He passed Trevor Lawrence's passing record a couple years ago when he was in high school. And this will be fun to see. There was a lot of talk about Tramel Jones. Is he going to, is he going to be the runaway starter? I heard that floated around. I kind of had the belief that from the last month that if DJ Lagway had stayed or left, that you had to get a quarterback from the portal. Like that was a non-dispute whatsoever. You couldn't go into the season with Tramel Jones being your number one guy, saying, okay, we're going to ride with him, and we're not, we're just going to ride with the guys that are on our roster, and not really push for anybody to be in the portal and to push Tramel Jones. I kind of expected, yesterday when Lagway hit the portal, Aaron Philo would be the guy that they wanted. He hits the portal. It just came out about 30 minutes ago. So that is the big news of the day on this Tuesday afternoon. Also, Myles Graham, big news just came out about 20 minutes ago. He will be returning to the Florida Gators. So from everything that you've seen so far from the Gators, okay, Lagway is gone. He's hitting the portal. Philo has hit the portal from Georgia Tech. Looks like he's going to be becoming a Gator. Nothing from Jaden Ball. Myles Graham just announced that he is returning. Aiden Myles is hitting the portal, which kind of hurts. You would have liked to see him stay, but there's a lot of receivers on the roster that they can still be good. There's no update on Dallas Wilson, no update on Vernell Brown. Caleb Banks was announced that he is hitting the NFL draft. So there's we're still very early in this process. I mean, the playoff is going to be Friday. Friday and Saturday. Alabama and Oklahoma play Friday night, and then the other 3 games, Miami A&M, Ole Miss, and Tulane, and then James Madison is excuse me, they're going to play their game on Saturday, and that'll be that. And then when those teams get done with their season, you would expect the losers of those teams, guys of that nature, would be hitting the portal as well. So it's going to be it's the wild, wild west. Let's see here. Got a couple comments. I'm not sold on Philo. Play D1 ball, basically middle schoolers. Bring in a better during the portal, then bringing in Philo is fine, but doubt he is the he is the answer this year. Hearing 2 or 3 million from Philo. Yeah, I don't know what the money is for Philo. I would expect that. I'm sure I hate talking about NIL and money because it's like it's not like the NFL where it's like contracts and an agent is telling a guy like Adam Schefter, okay, this person is getting this much. I'll expect that Philo probably gets around $2 million. Just me guessing, have no idea, no insight. So Marshall Faulkner, the OC, looks like he is going to get the guy that he previously had at Georgia Tech, and hopefully Florida can keep the guys on the roster, at least on the offensive side of the ball. Speaking, receivers are going to be the main thing, and then above them, excuse me, I'm battling cold. And Jaden Ball, it's been floated around that who knows what he's going to do with his decision in the near future. Still haven't seen really anything where he's going to go. So Marshall Faulkner, the OC, is looks like he has at least he has his quarterbacks that he intends to have. Again, this is not official, him coming to Florida, but it looks like from all intents and purposes, things that you follow, that he's going to be a Florida Gator in the near future, following his OC and his position coaches, and we'll see. DJ Lagway hits the portal, and the 3 teams from Pete Nakos, from what he reported, were Miami, LSU, and Baylor. Baylor is close to his hometown. Apparently his dad went to Baylor. So that's the connection there. LSU with Lane Kiffin. And again, Florida does not play LSU next year, and they don't play Miami in the near future. So at least Florida wouldn't be playing them, or at least have the potential of playing DJ Lagway, at least for the 2026 season. I do think he's going to go to a big-time school. I've seen a lot floated. I work with 1010XL. I heard Frank Frangie, he was talking. There's a couple other people that I've seen that he's going to go to a lower Power 4 school. Yeah, I don't see him going to a Kansas State or throwing any lower level Power 4 school like a Cal or any school like that. He's going to be going to a big time school and become a starter and get paid a lot of money. And I know a lot of people don't agree with that from the play that he did this year. But if anybody has been around college football coaches, they will look at anybody. It doesn't matter if it is behavior or talent. In this instance, they're going to look at someone and say, whatever his issues are, I can fix it. And that's going to be that. So I think DJ Lagway is a very talented kid. I think he's going to do well. And I think a lot of, the reason why he was terrible is obviously the injury. He didn't have an off season, but I think a lot of majority of it had to do with how horrible Billy Napier was and his refusal to put his athletes in space and instead go with a 2 tight end set, play after play after play. And we'll see in the near future. Who is to blame for Lagway not having a good sophomore season? Was it all on him, or was a lot of it had to do with Napier, or a little bit of both? I would lean right now a little bit. It was more a little bit on Napier, and you never got to see the opportunity to see what he could have done, and a good offense. So that's kind of where we stand right now. Let's see, reading a couple comments here. DJ needs to go to Baylor. Myles should go to USF with Heartline close to home. LSU would be a terrible spot for DJ. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to if Lane Kiffin, and again, it's funny that when the news broke yesterday that DJ was in the portal, that of course Lane Kiffin was the one to retweet it. I really don't take anything to it. I mean, Lane Kiffin's a troll. We all know, the kind of personality he is. I don't know if it's more of like he wants him or if he's just throwing it out there just cause. I think it's just he's just throwing it out there just cause. I mean, he retweeted his tweet whenever he got benched against Kentucky. DJ will definitely land on his feet, tons of talent. Yeah, he's got a lot of work to do. I definitely agree with that. So the quarterbacks that were hitting the portal yesterday were Dylan Raiola from Nebraska. I saw Michigan State's quarterback hit the portal, and there was one other, maybe a quarterback from Louisville, I think, hit the portal. I don't think Florida is really in contention. I think they have their eyes and their ears all set on Aaron Philo. If you were going to bring not most, but a lot of your guys on the offensive side of the ball from Georgia Tech, you want a quarterback that is going to run your system the right way, and that would be the quarterback that was just at your school that's been running your system. That makes the most sense. Apparently, I've seen some reports on Twitter. I don't know if they're 100% true. Apparently, Georgia Tech was willing to match the NIL that Florida was giving, and he still decided to go to Florida. Kind of like the same situation with Buster Faulkner, the OC. Georgia Tech was willing to offer the same offer that Florida gave him, and Georgia Tech matched it, and Faulkner, the OC, still said, I'm going to go to Florida. So that's the most recent news as of the moment, as of December 16th at 2 o'clock. Again, subscribe to the YouTube channel because anytime news keeps popping like this, we will definitely react. But I think this is a good move for the Florida Gators. It seems like the more you read about Aaron Philo, he looks like he waited his turn. He played in 8 games in his first 2 years. He is a redshirt freshman, so he will have, 3 years of eligibility left. And it'll be him and Tramel Jones. And I expect Aaron Philo to be the starter day 1 next year. And the schedule came out. Pretty manageable schedule for the first 6 games. And then you start playing Texas, Georgia, and Oklahoma. 3 consecutive games. There was a bye week before that Georgia game, like it always is. So we'll see. Hopefully we get good news in the next week or so about Jaden Ball. My goodness. I need to take a break here. Hopefully Jaden Ball comes back. And one thing I like to see Florida target in the portal is the offensive line. You're losing Slaughter. You're going to lose Austin Barber. And you're going to move. You're going to lose some key pieces on that offensive line. So, as much as we want to talk about guys on the outside and how good that, how much it is, how important it is to replace receivers and corners, and the running back Jaden Ball, if he does leave, you've got to bring in some big guys up front, and Florida, if they want to be able to run the football like the way Georgia Tech did, you have to have good offensive linemen. So we'll see. Florida is beginning to fill out their coaching staff day by day with a lot of position coaches. I saw they got the running backs coach from Texas. They didn't really keep a lot of the same guys on the staff from Florida previously. It seems like the biggest hire has been Phil Troutwine, who used to play at Florida. I remember him playing for the national title team in 2006. He was a really good offensive tackle. Just because you were a really good player does not mean that you were going to be a really good coach. Now it looks like he's done a really good coaching job. I didn't know he was in coaching until Florida started floating his name out there that they were considering him. A lot of the guys that that Troutwine was targeting at Penn State, he's been reoffering them at Florida, which is a good sign. So we'll see. So just want to pop in here, give a little 10, 15-minute take on everything that's happening with Florida. And any news that happens in the future, we will give it to you. And that's why you subscribe to the channel. We were at 615 subscribers before the show started. And we're trying to get to 1,000 so we can get monetized and be YouTubers, because that's the new